I'm actually mad at myself. I cannot believe that I haven't played this game until now. I have PS4 and I played there very often, but I still can't believe that I missed this. And yeah, if you have to, you're probably missing the rise of a new big franchise. And yeah, as you can understand from the title of the video, we're gonna be talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. I've only recently played and completed this game, and it was an amazing experience. So let's discuss that. So for the purpose of this review, I will be primarily talking about the PC version of this game, because that's where I actually played it and completed this. I got it on Steam and I played it there. And most likely all of those things are applicable for the PS4 version as well. So let's start with actually discussing what Horizon Zero Dawn actually is. So Horizon Zero Dawn is open world action adventure game which happens in a post-apocalyptic future. Human civilization is basically gone and humanity is basically devolved into tribal societies. But the big difference with every other setting is that the world is actually populated by the machines. The fauna of the world, the animals of the world, are actually replaced by the machine. Basically, all larger animals are actually replaced with their animal counterparts, and you are playing as an alloy. Yeah, that's basically your name. A female protagonist, and your goal is basically find out what's been happening around you and what happened with the past civilization base. Yeah, I won't be spoiling anything because yeah, every single bit of the story is actually pretty excellent and I loved it. And yeah, you need to be experiencing this yourself. So yeah, this will be a completely spoiler-free review, by the way. Despite game coming out in 2017. Yes, more than half a decade ago. And with Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to this game, well, on the horizon, no pun intended, I decided to check this game out and boy, I was simply blown away. So first, is this game actually worth it? I should have said it earlier in the video, but I will say now. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Go and get it if you haven't got it. Doesn't matter it's PS4 or PC, go and get it. But now let's discuss how it actually plays and why you should actually get it. So gameplay-wise, it's actually pretty difficult to explain the feeling of the game. It's actually close to a mix of Red Dead Redemption 2 of all things, God of War, and Monster Hunter. Yes, it's actually a mix of those. You have a basically fluidity of a combat of God of War with combat action of the Monster Hunter and open world of Red Dead Redemption. It's not exactly one-to-one replica of all of those things, but yeah, it's a mix of all of those things. From all the videos and from all the trailers and for all the gameplay that I've seen of this game, I thought this would be a simple open world where just kill enemies, go to an objective and have some RPG elements, and it would be like very story-heavy game. I was very wrong. The game, the machine gameplay, the monster gameplay, if you want to call this, is very close to actually Monster Hunter because every single machine requires very distinctive strategy and requires a lot of preparation from you if you want to come out victorious. Let me explain. So main weapons that you have are pretty primitive with some additional types of tech. Because yeah, technology in this world is basically, well, some kind of magic, at least for the inhabitants of this world. Your main weapon is bow and arrow, your slingshot, your tripcaster, basically the weapon which you can create the traps with, and weapons like that, very rudimentary. But you can also equip a different type of elemental ammunition, like fire arrows, or you can have a blast slingshot, or you can have an electric traps. And because all of your weapons are very rudimentary, you must understand that arrows will be pretty bad offense against the metal machines. So you need to employ a different tactics based on different machines. So first thing that you will do is you will actually scan the machine to find out what machine it is and what different weaknesses it have, because all the machines have their own weaknesses and their own different weapon variety. In the beginning, majority of machines are the melee based, basically they will charge you and attack you and hit you, but as you go through the game you will actually find out the range weapons, an entire tank of machines that will just one-shot you from very large distances. So you will actually need to prepare for it. So next thing that you will need to do based on, of course, the machine that you're fighting, you need to come up with a strategy. Are you going to lure them to you and get them into your traps, or you're just gonna shoot and kill them before they're gonna come close to you? And that's where machine variety and understanding how machines work and how their AI works is very important, because I was blown away with an AI of the machines here. As an example, one of the types of the machines that you will meet fairly early in the game are called grazers, and they're basically some type of reindeer machines. They're usually running in a packs of maybe 3, 4, or maybe more members. The tactics against those basically machines are that all of them are carrying the blaze canisters, basically flammable canisters on their backs. And your goal is basically to damage those canisters, or if you have fire arrows, explode them. So what will happen is that if you just start attacking them right away without even thinking of these specific points, if they will see you and they will see that you're close, they will charge you and they will stomp you. And no matter how cool and how great you are, you will lose unless you're very ready and unless you will just spend enormous amount of ammunition and weapons on them. If they will see that you are far away, they'll understand that charging you will be pretty stupid because you might take them down before they will get to you, so they will just run away. So enemies can actually understand this. Or alternatively, what you can do is you can get a fire arrow and find grazers that are actually tightly packed with each other and shoot the blaze canister with a fire arrow. This will cause an enormous explosion that will kill entire herd with one shot. And you can employ the tactics like that on variety of different enemies. You actually have around 25 different types of machines, and every single one of them are based on different animals, starting from a horse, ending on a T-Rex. And yes, taking down the T-Rex machine is insanely difficult because it is a basically walking arsenal of death, and you will need to plan ahead and understand very well how it works in order to take it down. But boy, it is actually worth it. If you have played Monster Hunter and if you enjoyed the thrill of fighting the monsters and you enjoyed the tactics that you were planning with each and every monster, you will find a lot of fun here as well. The game actually has some RPG mechanics as well. You level up your character and unlock some different abilities, like for example an ability to shoot 2 arrows at the same time or 3 arrows at the same time. Or as you progress through the story, you also unlock the ability to actually take control of the machines. And as you progress through the story and as you unlock more and more things in the world, you will actually have an ability to override more and more different types of machines, and basically you can create your small army that will help you to fight other machines. But the game also has an ability to choose the different types of weapons, to choose the different types of outfits, and each and every one of them have different attributes, and you can also modify your weapons. And the game has some crafting as well, and overall the game is pretty deep and has a lot of different small things to keep you busy almost every single time. You will not find a dull moment in this game because every single moment of this game, you will need to be doing something. You will either be fighting, you will either be progressing to the story, or you will be preparing to fight and progress to the story, because you will need a lot of materials and a lot of ammunition to go through the story and to go through the combats. And yeah, by the way, you can actually do a lot of things and a lot of story progression even without the combat as well, because you can actually go through this game even with the stealth. Plus, with an amazing story, with fully voiced dialogue, that reminded me more of a Mass Effect, the good Mass Effects, than anything else. You will be enjoying this game a lot, and with an open world, you will be doing a lot of things there. But I have to ask just one thing. Please, do not play this game on story difficulty. I understand that you want to find out more about the story, but gameplay is as important part of the game. The difficulty of the gameplay is as important part of the game as the story. So please play at least on a normal difficulty, because this is an only way to have a challenge and to feel satisfied with the gameplay. The story mode is just way too simple, way too easy. Play at least on a normal difficulty or even on easy difficulty. But yeah, normal is a minimum viable great option to play and enjoy this game. But what about the negatives? To be fair, I didn't find a lot. It was simply a great experience that I enjoyed through and through. But if I have to nitpick, well, I will. One very nitpicky thing that I want to tell you is that after a game is actually showing you that you can actually override the machines, or you can even mount some of the machines, it is not actually giving you any information about that at all as you progress through the game. Basically, what I realized was that when I was playing through the game and when I realized that it was becoming a bit too difficult, only after that I remembered that I can actually override some machines and let them fight for me instead of fighting with me. So yeah, you actually don't have any information on your HUD. For example, when you're scanning your enemies, you don't even know if you can override them or if you can mount them, because the only way to find out about that is to go into pause menu, go into notebook, basically, which is your codecs, find the entry about this particular machine and see whether you can actually override it. If you cannot, where you can find and override basically codes for this, or if you can mount it or not. This is an only way to find out about this, and this is just a minor interface gripe. I would love to see this during the game when you're actually scanning this enemy. The other thing, which is again minor gripe, is the difficulty spike. Basically, when you're playing this game, you will mainly encounter 3 different biomes in the game. The first is your initial biome, basically your forest and hills biome. Basically, it's all the green hills, your forests, your swamps, and some type of mountains as well. When you play this game, you don't actually encounter a lot of powerful enemies. You actually, a lot of powerful machines. You encounter basically 4 or 5 different types of machines, and they are fairly easy to complete. You will defeat those enemies, you will defeat those machines basically in no time and find out the ways to defeat them very, very quickly. And there are also 2 other biomes. The second one is the desert biome, and the third one is a frozen wilds biome, which is basically the endgame DLC biome, which is a part of the complete edition on a PC. The frozen wilds are of course the most difficult ones, and it's understandable because you need to be at this level 30 to get there. That's understandable. When you will go from the first initial biome to the second desert biome, where story takes you, the difficulty spikes immensely very quickly, like very, very quickly. You immediately encounter completely different machines, and they are much, much stronger. I mean, like, you are immediately jumped from an early game to an end game. And if you are used to like fighting every machine that you will find, you will die immediately when you go to this zone, because it's the difficulty spike is insane. And majority of the new machines you will be encountering on this biome, on this desert biome. Plus, because you have to go through quite a lot of this biome to get to the next story point in the story, you will die a lot. It's actually quite a huge difficulty spike. I would prefer to have more gradual difficulty spike, but yeah, it's again another minor gripe. But okay, enough talk with the gameplay. Gameplay is amazing, gameplay is fun, story is great. You will enjoy this. Please do not spoil yourself with anything from the story if you haven't already. Go through the game and experience it yourself, because this is pretty unique take on the post-apocalyptic future, which is great. Just go enjoy it yourself. But now, what about the pricing? How much this game will cost, and whether you should get it on that prices or not. Again, we're gonna be talking about only the Steam version on PC. So here are the prices. Again, game is available on Steam for $49.99 for tier 1 countries and $25.99 for tier 2 countries, and it can go as low as $24.99 for tier 1 countries and $12.99 for tier 2 countries. Now, is it absolutely worth it, or is it worth it for those prices or not? Now, the game is actually more than 5 years old now, and it came out on PC in 2020. And with the game's sequel on the horizon, well, again, no pun intended, I don't think that you should actually get this game for the full price. Yeah, it's just simply not worth it, because most likely you will be seeing this game on a discount very, very, very often. If you're not seeing it on a discount right now, you will be seeing in the next coming weeks. So just don't waste your money on a full price, because yes, most likely you will be seeing the discounted price very, very soon. Even though the game is absolutely worth it for the full price, even of the $49.99, I would still suggest you to wait for the discount. Now, what about $24.99? Yes, absolutely. It's absolutely worth it. You are going to get at least 40 hours of gameplay, and I mean at least 40 hours of gameplay, and you will enjoy every single second of it. And if you're a completionist like me, and if you like this type of open world gameplay and combat is simply amazing, then you're probably gonna get at least 100 hours of the gameplay from this game. So yes, it's absolutely worth it for $24.99 and for $12.99 for tier 2 countries. Yeah, it's just a no-brainer. It's a must have in your Steam library. Plus, the game is actually very, very, very well optimized. It runs insanely good, even on an older machines, and you are going to enjoy this game a lot. And if you're worried about the bugs, during my entire playthrough, I only encountered a bug once. It was just once when an enemy spawned inside of a rock, and that was it. I was still able to hit him, and I was still able to defeat him, but it was only once during an entire game. Other than that, I haven't encountered a single bug or issue with the entire game. Game is incredibly smooth and runs insanely well. Now, to sum it up, Is this game worth it, and whether you should get this game right now or not? The answer is abso-freaking-lutely yes. This is one of the must-have games because the gameplay variety and open world and the amazing story and amazing gameplay loop is this thing that you cannot go wrong with. Is the only thing that you will need to give this game is your time, and you will need to learn how to combat an enemies. In this game, you will never be too overpowered to defeat even the weakest enemies, because even if you are like 20-30 levels higher than your enemy, they will kick your ass. They will kick your ass if you will not careful enough. It doesn't matter how high level you are, they will stomp you to the ground if you will not be careful and if you'll just go head on into the fight, not thinking and not preparing. And that's the thing that I love. That's the thing that I liked in a Monster Hunter, and that's the thing that I love in this game. Go get this game. You will not regret buying this game. And yeah, wait for a sequel. Don't grab the sequel right away. Wait for the discounts. And of course, in the future, we're going to be discussing the sequel as well. Well, this will be it for today. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this game? Have you played it on PS4 or on PC? Did you enjoy it? And why did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.